Ear candling plus gallbladder flush introduction. Every year, there are more and more fashionable health tips. Articles, blogs, and video reviews promise us easy solutions. Get rid of excess weight, cleanse the body in a week, and restore strength in a day. Especially when it comes to the health of people over the age of 50 to 60, these recipes are becoming more and more popular. Why? Because the desire to remain active and cheerful is natural for everyone. But there is a problem. Not all of these tips are safe. Moreover, some of them can actually harm your health. Sometimes they are based on beautiful myths, sometimes on outdated knowledge, and sometimes on outright commercial gain. People who want to help themselves can fall into the trap of beautiful promises and put their health in danger. Today, we will analyze the 10 most popular healthy habits, life hacks, and miracle methods that are actually not only useless, but can also turn into problems. And some of them are even a serious threat to life, I promise you. I'll keep the pitch simple and clear. I'll tell you which methods are really worth avoiding. I will share examples and tips that will help you make the right choice for your health. Stay with me until the end, especially because the last item on this list is not just a myth. This is an industry worth hundreds of millions of dollars, which is based on unproven theories. Let's go. Exposure number 1. Cleaning the ears with ear candles. At first glance, the idea seems simple and ingenious. We take a special wax candle, light it, insert it into the ear, and supposedly heat creates a vacuum that pulls earwax out of the auditory canal. Indeed, after the procedure, you can see some yellow deposits inside the candle. What else do I need to confirm? I used to believe that too. Moreover, many years ago, I myself advised my loved ones to try it. Even at appointments, he told patients about ear candles. They say they are natural, safe, and effective. But then I started to wonder, is there any real evidence of the effectiveness of this procedure? It turned out not to be. Otolaryngologists, ENT doctors, and audiology specialists have conducted numerous studies. One of these works is an experiment led by an experienced audiologist. They carefully examined the auditory canal before and after using an earplug through a video endoscope. Result: 0 changes. The earwax was still there. What, then, is inside the burnt-out candle? It's simple. It's molten wax and the charred remains of a wick. There is no earwax there, and the candle does not create any vacuum. For this, it simply cannot reach the desired temperature and pressure difference. And that's half the trouble. The use of ear candles is associated with real risks: burns of the outer ear and ear canal, damage to the eardrum, wax entering the auditory canal, and the need for medical intervention. Doctors comment, "There have been cases of ear canal burns among my patients. One patient lost part of his hearing after such a procedure and had to undergo serious treatment." Conclusion: save money and take care of your health. If you feel discomfort in your ears or suspect excess sulfur, it is better to consult an ENT doctor for professional and safe cleaning. Exposure number 2. Cleansing the gallbladder with olive oil. The next myth is the famous fortune telling on the toilet, or the so-called global detox of the gallbladder. The essence of the method: a person drinks about 300 to 400 milliliters of olive oil, sometimes with lemon juice or herbal tablets, to wash stones and toxins from the gallbladder. When a person sees strange green lumps in the toilet after the procedure, They are convinced that these are supposedly gallstones. But let's get this straight. What's really going on? When you drink large amounts of oil, especially on an empty stomach, it causes a sharp release of bile and an active digestive system. Olive oil, combining with gastric juice and bile, forms clots of fat-like substances. It is these soft, floating lumps that are mistaken for stones. Real gallstones are dense, calcified, and heavy. They don't float in the water, they're drowning. The risks of this practice: acute attack of pancreatitis, severe strain of the liver and bile ducts, exacerbation of cholelithiasis, digestive problems due to the loss of a large volume of bile. A practical story. One of my friends, who decided to clean up after a similar procedure, went to the hospital with acute pain in the right hypochondrium. Tests showed that she had a spasm of the bile ducts and an inflammatory process began. Opinion of the gastroenterologist. In most cases, after such cleansing, we are faced with a deterioration of the liver and gallbladder. Moreover, it is often necessary to treat not mythical slags, but the real consequences of thoughtless procedures. The Master Cleanse plus Foot Detox Pads plus Foot Detox Bath. Exposure number 3, Master Cleansing with lemon and maple syrup. One of the most popular detox methods of recent decades is the Master Cleanse. The bottom line: don't eat anything for a few days, just drink a mixture of lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup. They promise liver cleansing, weight loss, and rejuvenation. I once tried this method myself, sincerely believing in the promises of miraculous purification. And what did I get? Sugar spikes, dizziness, weakness, and an even greater craving for sweets. Why is it dangerous? The constant consumption of maple syrup keeps the body in a state of unstable blood sugar. The body does not go into fat-burning mode, ketosis. Instead, it experiences stress. The lack of protein and fat disrupts muscle function and slows down metabolism. After such a cleansing, there is almost always a reverse weight gain and an aggravation of nutrient deficiency. Nutritionists comment, "Your body cleanses itself every day through the liver and kidneys. He doesn't need a sugar marathon to detox." Better cleansing: regular consumption of vegetables, especially cruciferous ones, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Drinking plenty of clean water, enough protein to support liver function, no sudden hunger strikes, and sugar in industrial quantities. Exposure number 4. Detox foot patches. Let's move on to another myth. Detox foot patches. The idea is that special stickers draw out toxins through the skin of the feet, especially during sleep. In the morning, the patch turns black, supposedly a sign of purification. I once bought such patches myself. The promotional photos looked too convincing. What turned out to be? Scientific data. The skin is not able to remove heavy toxins from the outside in significant quantities. Sweat is mostly water and electrolytes, not slags or heavy metals. Patches turn black even when wetted with ordinary water without skin contact. It's just the reaction of the ingredients to moisture. Dermatologist's opinion: there is no scientific evidence that detox patches work. This is a marketing trick designed to encourage people to improve their health quickly. Danger: some patches may contain irritating substances that cause allergies or dermatitis. And for people with diabetes or circulatory disorders, any damage to the skin on their feet is a risk of infection. What really helps: light exercises, regular drinking of water, liver function support, with natural products. Exposure. Number 5. Detox foot baths with electrodes. And now let's talk about the next miracle device, electrode foot baths. The mechanics are simple. You put your feet in salt water, a current is applied to the water gradually darkens, and you are told, look, it's the toxins that came out. It's obvious, right? Just don't. What's really going on? An electric current in water with salt causes oxidation of the electrodes. Rust and metal oxide turn the water a brown, dirty brown color. This process happens even without your feet in the water. Experiment. Scientists specially launched such baths without legs and received the same brown water. Comment by the intensive care doctor. Human detoxification organs are the liver, kidneys, and intestines. The skin performs mainly a protective function. No baths can replace the normal functioning of internal organs. The risks. A false sense of security. I've eliminated toxins. You can eat anything. Loss of money. Skin irritation in people with hypersensitivity. Exposure number 6. Belts for the press. Burn fat without straining. Who wouldn't want to put a belt on their stomach, press a button, and find the perfect abs by the evening? It sounds tempting, especially for older people who don't have the ability or energy for regular hard workouts. But the truth, unfortunately, is completely different. The essence of the myth, a heated belt, sauna effect, supposedly helps to melt fat. An electrostimulation belt causes muscles to contract, as if exercising them without your participation. What's really going on? Fat burning occurs only with a calorie deficit, not from local heat or stimulation. The effect of the belts is only a temporary loss of water, not a real loss of fat. Muscles may slightly twitch from an electrical impulse, but this is not a substitute for real training. The physiotherapist's comment. Even the daily use of an electric belt does not have the effect of losing weight. Exercise is needed not only to burn calories, but also to activate metabolism and hormonal processes, which the belt cannot do. The risks. Skin irritation, cardiac arrhythmia in people with pacemakers, a false sense of activity, which can reduce real physical activity. What really works? Proper nutrition, walking, light gymnastics, breathing exercises, daily activity, even minimal. Exposure number 7. Blood type diet. This theory sounds beautiful. Supposedly, depending on your blood type, your body needs different foods. Group O, more meat. Group A is vegetarianism. Group B, dairy products. The AB group is something in between. It seems logical. But no, the reality is this. There is no convincing scientific evidence that blood type determines your nutritional compatibility. Studies that have tried to confirm this have shown zero correlation between blood type and optimal diet. Why do some people see the effect? Because the blood type diet excludes harmful foods anyway. Less sugar, less processed food, more natural products, that's all. The improvement in the condition is not due to the blood type, but due to the transition to a healthier diet. Nutritionists comment, even if you were born with a rare blood type, your metabolism will depend on genetics in general, physical activity, hormone levels, but not on the blood type directly. Exposure number 8. EMF blockers on phones. Today, almost everyone has heard about the dangers of electromagnetic waves from phones, and it is on this fear that the sale of special sticker blockers is based. You are promised that by attaching them to your phone, you will protect yourself from harmful radiation. Evidence: a small sticker cannot shield or absorb radio waves. Effective blocking is possible only with complete shielding, for example, using a dense metal layer that would completely block the signal. But in this case, the phone would simply stop working. The physicists comment, "It's like sticking a Band-Aid on an umbrella and hoping the rain doesn't get you wet." The risks: you're losing money. You get a false sense of security and don't take real precautions, like using a headset or keeping your phone at a distance. How to really reduce the impact of EMF. Use wired headphones for conversations. Do not keep your phone near your head or on your body at all times. Limit the time of use. Revelation number 9. Carbo blockers. Eat bread rolls without consequences. The next miracle product is carbo blockers. The idea is simple. You take a special supplement, and now you can eat rolls, pasta, and cakes without risking gaining weight. How they work. Extracts of white beans slightly inhibit the enzyme that breaks down starches. Theoretically, some of the starch will not be absorbed and will pass through transit. But the reality is this: a maximum of 1 to 2% of carbohydrate absorption is blocked. Most of the starches will be broken down in the intestine anyway. A small amount of starches that have not been digested will begin to ferment in the intestines, causing bloating, gas formation, and diarrhea. The gastroenterologist comment, no carbo blockers will allow you to eat buns and pizza with impunity. They will only worsen digestion, and the benefits are zero. The risks: violation of intestinal microflora, increased irritable bowel syndrome. It's a waste of money. The best strategy: reduce your intake of refined carbohydrates, white bread, pasta, sweets, without the help of magic pills. Block 4, psychiatric drugs plus electroshock therapy, ECT, plus conclusion exposure. Number 10, psychiatric drugs, treatment theory. Let's be honest. Depression, anxiety, and emotional disorders are real problems that many older people face. But how effective are those drugs that are massively prescribed to millions of patients? The essence of the problem: for many years, psychiatry has been based on the theory that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain, especially a lack of serotonin. However, recent large-scale studies have shown that this theory is not scientifically confirmed. There is no direct link between serotonin levels and depression. Nevertheless, antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotics continue to be actively prescribed. What is the danger? The mechanism of action of most psychotropic drugs is not fully understood. The effectiveness is often comparable to the placebo effect, i.e., the dummy effect. The drugs become addictive after 2 to 3 weeks of taking them. Often, the side effects are more severe than the depression itself. The emotional, pain, loss of feelings, exacerbation of anxiety, suicidal thoughts, withdrawal syndrome when trying to stop taking it. The famous psychiatrists comment, "We treat a hypothetical disease with drugs with severe side effects instead of studying lifestyle, nutrition, the level of inflammation in the body, and the real psycho-emotional state of a person." Especially important, psychotropic drugs do not eliminate the cause of depression. They only mask the symptoms, often exacerbating the underlying problem. In the long run, the scariest thing is electroshock therapy, ECT. Yes, electroconvulsive therapy is still used in the 21st century, a method in which an electric current is passed through the patient's brain, causing an artificial seizure. What the supporters of ECT claim, electroshock restarts the brain, improves mood in severe depression. What's really going on? Electric shock causes structural damage to the brain. The result is partial memory loss, cognitive decline, and confusion. The effect is short-lived. After a few weeks, the suppressed symptoms return. At the same time, there is a high risk of severe side effects and even irreversible damage. Neurologists comment, electroshock cannot be called a cure. This is an intervention at the brain with severe consequences, and the effectiveness of the method is extremely questionable. Zerenia, especially scary. In some cases, ECT is used without the full consent of the patient. The procedure is performed even for patients in hospices, people in the last stages of life. And all this despite the lack of convincing evidence of long-term benefits. Conclusion: how not to fall for the bait of fashionable treatments. We live in an age of abundance of information, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, the number of myths, half-truths, and outright fraudulent schemes aimed at gullible people, especially the elderly, is also growing. The result is simple. Ear candles, magic patches, miracle water bottles for cleansing the body do not work. Radical cleansing of the body can harm the liver, kidneys, and heart. Magic diets and miracle pills almost always turn out to be empty promises. Psychiatric medications, and especially electroshock therapy, require special care and careful attention to one's health. What is really important? Daily small steps, healthy eating, physical activity, emotional support. Understanding the processes in the body, not blind faith in advertising slogans. Responsible choice of doctors and treatment methods. Your health is the most valuable thing you have. Never trust his random popular advice without verified information. Write in the comments, have you ever tried some kind of trendy treatment and then realized it was a myth? Your experience can help others avoid mistakes.